Meow.
This is how Harris and I know one another.
Okay.
We are extremely big fans and players of an action horror role-playing game.
Death Blaster 3000.
Yes.
Which is it is an RPG game with heavy combat elements set during the Krogan War, the Krogan Rebellion.
Okay. Cool.
So
Initially, Harris had thought that you were a Krogan, and so he had said that most Krogans were heavily against these games, but there was one who was for it because they were a character. Assuming that you were a Krogan, thinking that, yes, you were a character in this video game.
and that's why you were one of the few who approved of it.
Unfortunately, I'm a Drell.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we met at like a Death Blaster 3000 tournament.
Yep.
A ladder tournament.
Oh, I think that my character does well, but not as well as they can because they do not want to win because they do not want to be famous. So they go and they have fun. They'll get up to they'll test everyone's skill and then they'll just start intentionally losing to put them about 5th or 4th once they know that yes, I would be 1st or 2nd, but okay.
Like, it's enough to cash out well, but not top prize.
Yeah, because they don't want to have their name and face thrown all over everywhere. Sounds bad. And that's if they
fair.
compete. They probably don't usually compete.
So, I was thinking,
We thought of this while in the pit.
yes.
Well, not in. Well, feeding. We were refeeding the pit.
So, like, I was thinking, like, to kind of bring everybody in, it's not immediately at the quest that we have talked about. This is gonna be like a flashback to kind of get everybody introduced, and then we'll fast forward back to the present.
Yeah.
So,
Sort of a cold open.
Yeah, this is, for lack of a better term, this is definitely a cold open. Alright, so, Harrison, Ryan, is it okay if I don't bring you in just yet?
Can we warm up before we get?
Yes, we should definitely warm up first.
Yeah.
Proverbs.
I also have a new warm up game that I did with my Genesys group that they really enjoyed.
Oh.
Where you when it's your turn, you say an item, and everyone else has to come up with alternative uses for that item. So, it's like if someone says traffic cone, you could say vomit holder. Or we had a blender, and someone said document shredder, right? Or evidence destroyer. That was my evidence destroyer. So that's another one. I like starting with proverbs and then doing that because that also breeds that elasticity of creative use. I think that it ended up actually also really helping out with the session because we did fucking nothing, but they loved it. Like we did a handful of conversations.
Zero actual.
Yeah. But it was it just got everyone in that same good shared creative space and.
All right.
And I think that's fun. But yes, we should do proverbs and then the alternative use.
Before we do that,
yes.
I'm trying to remember what my career was.
Ryan, you're a Drell, but you're an agent for the Hanar government.
Oh, I need my phone.
Is that?
Yeah. Or actually, I'll grab the
Yeah,
computer.
I mean, as per the rules.
Oh, like your class or your?
Yeah.
My
class.
You are a vanguard, so you have that biotic charge.
Right.
You need you use your very close quarters, I wouldn't say shock troop with just a ton.
No, I was going for that.
Like a ton of beef.
Speed in, speed out.
Yeah, you are a really like a quick adept, close quarters combatant, utilizing both your biotic skills, your martial prowess, and then like I don't know what weapons you got. That's up to you.
I've got a monoblade sword.
Yes. You don't have any firearms, just the sword.
Nope. Because the idea was that I was just gonna like dip in, then dip out.
All right.
Just for the rules, because they're a little different, you know. To make sure I understand shit.
I have the PDF pulled up over here.
Yeah, I know, but I want to have it right here too. Because I might want to know something without having to bother you and interrupt whatever your flow is.
That's cool. It's pinned in the Discord chat.
Dope.
So, Proverbs?
Yeah.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Got something on my mind.
Okay.
Holes.
Feel.
Empty.
Unless.
Filled.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Dirt.
Falling.
Underneath.
Bridges.
Washes.
Away.
Mud.
I mean, I was thinking probably like the foundation, but okay.
Hey man, you let enough dirt fall on mud, you stop having mud.
I think you and I have different definitions of the word washes.
No, I'm just applying it in a fun way.
All right.
We have the same definition. I chose to use a different one. I think that's a common theme in my life.
All right. Ryan,
Absolution.
Absolution, you said?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Without
Rocks. I don't know if you've noticed, but this fucking hole in Bill and Joan's yard has come to occupy an outsized part of our lives this past 2 weeks.
Absolution. What was this? Absolution.
without rocks.
Absolution without rocks. Portends.
That is a good word.
Indefinite.
Indemnitude.
Okay. All right.
Give me one. I'm just gonna grab a couple books so I can prop up my webcam.
Sounds good.
Rick, you gonna start?
Oh, I'm waiting for
Oh,
Ryan to get back so that way.
Well, Ryan's still in your shot.
Sure. But, you know, I don't want him to have to think about anything else. You know? I enjoy being polite. And it gives me a chance to get the PDF pulled up on Discord so I know exactly what all my skills tie to. Because I know my skill ranks, and I know my attribute point distributions, but I don't know which attributes are used for which skills inherently.
Gotcha.
I'm back.
Wonderful. Well, okay. Unlimited. I'm just looking at the background on the computer, Harris.
Unlimited silica.
Creates.
Snacks.
Okay. Yeah.
Rock Eater Khan over here.
Stone and Nasher.
Silica snacks.
Yeah. Hey, you guys got on my case when I said the thing. We were talking about needing to dry up the pit, and I mentioned snacking on those tasty, crunchy little bits, and they looked at me sideways, and now, here we are, and not now. See, I feel vindication. This feels good.
I want to do Rick's warm-up game now.
Okay. So, do you have a thing in mind, or would you like me to say a thing?
Say a thing, and then what?
Okay.
And then the other three of us.
Everyone else, I included, can just say whatever alternative uses for this thing that we can think of. Okay, let's go with. Let's keep it simple. An ice cream scoop.
Pooper scooper.
There you go. Boom. Pooper scoop.
Soft serve, baby.
I did manage to unpromptedly get a promise from one of my dear friends to not jump immediately to weird butt stuff. I would appreciate it if I could get this assembly. I know we're not going to be able to avoid it, but let's just not get there right away.
An ice cream scoop.
Yeah, ice cream scooper. It was one of my friends from Catholic school. He was like, yeah.
Really bad hammer.
Okay, a hammer. Yep.
Just
Okay.
as bad.
You might say a shitty hammer?
This is technically not having to do with the butt,
Great.
but I still hope you'll forgive me. A dick softener.
I mean...
And I say that only because in BDSM circles, when you're playing with someone who's not a sex partner and you don't want an erection, it is not uncommon to take a metal scoop, an ice cream scoop, and put it on a guy's dick so he's not hard.
So
I don't know if you're just making this up, or if
No,
you're-
I'm not making this up.
It's not. There's no fucking way that that's made up.
Nice.
I fucking
I
love.
can guarantee this is not made up.
Oh my
You learn
god.
something new every day.
It's too specific to not to. There were no pauses, no halts, and all just flowed. Yep. No, that's all real.
So in order to not get hard, you just put an ice cream scoop on your dick?
Because it's very cold.
Ah.
Yep. It just sort of. Whoop. Yep. That's
Alright.
That's something
All
right
right.
there. Eyeball
I love how
remover.
Harrison just looking at the screen with disdain.
Yep. Eyeball remover.
I'm not looking at it with disdain. I'm literally just looking at the screen. What can I say? I'm a hater at heart.
Alright. Eyeball remover.
Eyeball No.
Merkin.
Love it.
A bird feeder.
Some sort of atrocious
sling.
wig.
What, Ryan?
A sling. Like,
Oh. Economy to pay.
Nice. Fishing net.
Goatee to mark that you are in the evil universe.
mmm.
Yep.
Let's go with a screwdriver.
Okay.
Stabbing implement.
Once in a lifetime circuit tester.
Back scratcher.
Colin, you got one?
Very bad gardening tool.
There you go. There you go.
Piano.
I'm still gonna go with very bad gardening tool.
Nutcracker.
Just shut the case on the wall.
No, you just get those hammers real powered up and just. Or drop the piano on it, yeah. Yeah, you just get the piano held really high up and put a nut underneath, and then you just let the ropes go and it falls 5 stories and kills the lady and cracks the nut. You know. Whatever.
Oversized paperweight.
Very oversized.
Nah. You got big papers.
Rabbit exterminator.
That is so brutal. You want rabbits? No, man, I just killed them. What do you use? You use like a 22? Piano.
I'm thinking about Bugs Bunny, but you know.
That, yeah. Both are bad.
Like I'm basically imagining you've got like a bunch of rabbits lined up, and then you just slam the lid down on their necks.
Oh god.
This is bad. This is a nightmare.
Bloodshed
This is
sonata.
a nightmare. How did this get worse?
Mine was innocent. Childhood cartoon.
Oof. You see a cartoon of someone slamming a piano on as a child, you're gonna be fucked. I'm glad I never watched Watership Down.
Oh no, Watership's Down is even worse than that.
I know it is.
Oh.
Golly.
I want to think of one more object.
Okay.
A Mars bar.
Pool evacuator.
Caddyshack.
Prank fake turd.
I just said pool evacuator.
That's yeah. Brain did not follow that one. Ant collector.
Hey! I love it.
Do Mars bars have peanuts in them?
No. You were gonna go with some sort of poison. Yeah.
Oh my god, I totally forgot that Ryan is allergic to peanuts. From last... Yes.
Budget hockey puck.
Excuse me. That's such a big fucking pit, man. Genesys Mass Effect. There it is.
A doorstop. Use the Mars bar as a doorstop.
I like it.
Doesn't mean it's good at it.
No. That's the point of this game. Most of the time, these things aren't good.
Alright.
That's why the first time that I played it, I was saying like very bad this, bad that. I'm like, it's funnier to just say the thing, just let it go. People know it's bad.
That's true. You raise a good point.
That's why I started shifting to something like economy or once in a lifetime, as opposed to
Bad.
bad or good. because those end up being more juicy descriptors.
All right.
So it's a habit that I've stuck with since playing that game on Tuesday. Playing games can teach you things, Ryan. Who knew?
No, that is impossible.
Yeah, I mean, today I just
That's
learned
why
that.
I endeavor never to use games in my classroom.
Yeah, never fun play. Never once do a funner play.
Yeah, I mean, today I've learned that you can use an ice cream scoop as a dick softener and that you can kill a whole lot of rabbits with a piano.
Those are 3 facts I didn't know that I never wanted to know. The third fact being that you now know those things.
You didn't want to know that I know that an ice cream scoop is a dick softener?
That's,
You can use a piano to kill a whole lot of rabbits all at once.
yep. Didn't know that I didn't ever want to know that you knew those things. Weird, right? Yep.
Okay. All right. So now that we've had our appetizer,
Yeah.
are we ready for the main course, gentlemen?
I just realized I don't have my character sheet.
No. The answer is no. We are not ready for the main course.
So that was like an amuse bouche.
Harris, while you're going that way, can you grab me another goza?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do it.
How are we handling biotics in this? Remind me.
I don't know. I gotta look at the thing.
Is it a strain costs?
It's under biotic powers.
Yep. Let's see. Exactly. Biotic.
Attacks do not cost concentration. Utility telekinesis does cost a concentration.
What page is this on?
This is page 36 and 37.
Okay, I just want to have it up.
And I believe that it costs strain to use them, similar
Yeah.
to casting magic.
So Ryan, like as a vanguard, you're really gonna want to use charge.
Yeah.
Like that's like your bread and butter is like doing charge, and then shockwave is another one that I would say that as a vanguard you automatically get.
Yeah, so the rules say that as long as you have a rank in biotics, you can use any of the powers.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because it adds...
That rubbing is a problem for what I was going to attempt.
Restrictive, huh?
So, Rick, you can do yeah, so like 36, 37, and 38 is what you guys are going to be doing a bunch of.
Yep.
Tech powers is on page 40. Ryan, you don't have any tech powers, right?
No, I only have biotics.
Okay, so Harris, if you want, do you want to have this pulled up as well, still, so you can peruse page 40 and 41 for all the tech powers?
I mean, I also have it here, if need be.
Okay, cool.
So don't worry, I've got that pulled up and set. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, this is...
Crunchy.
This PDF is so crunchy, and I don't want to do any of this.
Well, those are the all the modifier stuff are suggestions. Those are things that, if you want to make it more difficult or more expanded, you can add difficulty to allow those things to happen.
Yeah.
So say I want to say I am doing a biotic attack, right?
Yeah.
I could add one additional purple die to make it close combat. So instead of picking someone at range, I would pick someone right next to me. Or say I wanted to add 2 purple, I would then be able to add twice my willpower instead of once the willpower, right?
Okay.
So those are extra things which can be done, but aren't necessarily things which must be done.
Okay. I mean, I don't know that I'm going to use that a whole lot.
Yeah.
We'll just, like, because you've played a ton of Genesis. Ryan, you've played a fair amount as well, right?
No,
No?
not really.
No.
Genesis,
Harrison,
I've played just with you three.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've played a couple of sessions of Edge of the Empire.
Which is, but it has,
Well,
it's Genesis based, but it's got like much more
Page 42.
crunch and intense rules.
yeah, page
Yeah.
40 is the beginning of tech powers, and then there's more of them on like page 41 and page 42. I don't want to be crunchy about this game, really.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
we'll just fucking roll dice and go from there and be like, hey, that seems
Yeah.
fair.
yeah, I think that, I mean, because like I said, all of those tables you were referring to, that you're referring to as crunch, that's all suggested.
Mm.
Those are all things which can be done, and maybe if I want to do something, I could look at that and say, hey, I'd like to do this, and this says that I could add this. Does that sound fair to you? Right?
Yeah.
Instead of you being like, well, this is, you know.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, I'd say. So.
I mean, really, all I'm gonna ask is like, have you done this thing before, or like if it's
Does
like
it make
if it's
sense?
a really does it make sense, or like if this is a really tough hack, how difficult, you know, like,
Yep.
or like if you
Yeah,
guys
I
need
think-
to craft stuff, you know, because there are like both of you are tech people, so like
Yep.
you should have the ability to craft small objects in a very short amount of time span, and then like if we have, you know, in-game downtime,
Yeah.
you know, like, hey, I want to go to a workbench and modify something.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Were you gonna say, Ryan?
Yeah. I was gonna say, let's not stress it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Cool.
And
Start going.
certainly, if you see value in adding more stuff in the next session,
Yeah.
we'll roll with that. Or if you're like, no, that felt good, and you just stick with it. Or if you want to go even lighter, like,
Yeah.
we'll tweak as we go.
Right. Okay. So, Ryan, you're cool if I don't quite introduce you yet?
Yep, that's totally fine.
Okay. So, Harris and Rick,
Yeah.
you guys are attending a Death Blaster 3000 tournament
Mm-hmm.
on the Citadel, down in one of the wards. And there's kind of like some downtime in the tournament, and you guys are just kind of sitting on a railing, and it's like in this like convention center sort of place, and you're just kind of talking, looking out the window, and you're watching the ships kind of come into port. Bless you.
Can you believe the changes that they have made? Bless you. To shotguns.
Yeah, I mean, that last update was, I don't know, I ran some weird builds, but it kind of sucked.
Yeah, and the fact that they've shifted color shading has not been beneficial to me. Yeah. But I mean, those shotguns though, that's been nice.
So, as you guys are conversing on this railing, you notice that there's like a lot more. There's not so much the come and go of like your typical transport or cargo ships. Like those are all docked, and you're noticing that there's a lot of military ships, just kind of. Not so much like in high density or like in formation, but there's definitely like more patrols.
Is there some kind of exercise going on? I haven't heard anything, but...
Not that I'm aware of. Oh, let's see. Can I roll a knowledge underworld to see if... Because I figure people in the underworld, they'd probably be in the know about whether or not there'd be military movements coming in due to information buying.
Okay.
Can I roll a knowledge underworld to see if, through my connections, I know anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Yellow and green versus... What's my difficulty here?
I would say this is not
They've got like easy, average, hard, and daunting are the general
okay.
divisions.
This would be like an average.
Okay, so that would be
To know,
too perfect.
there's I can give you like a general knowledge, but
Yeah.
to know specifics, I'm gonna say it's gonna be hard.
Okay.
To know generalization, it's gonna be average.
Let's start off fun. Let's go with specific. We'll go hard. Go hard.
Okay.
So I'm rolling 1 green, 1 yellow, and
Do
3
you want
purple.
to roll in the big?
Yeah. I'm rolling the big.
We don't.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I've got a complete. Let's see. That washes that.
I will.
I have 2 disadvantages.
You have 2 disadvantage.
Yes.
So
So I know wrong shit.
you know wrong shit.
Yeah. What alternative facts do I know?
Through your.
Oh, sorry. What I know, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but please.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, that somehow means that I as Rick am right. But what she knows is that the military is going to be coming through here because it is some important person's birthday party, and they're picking something up to take it over there. Some rare animal import that they've picked up from some backwater planet.
That is perfect in the amount of incorrectness that it is.
Yeah. Yeah. What is a real person in the military's name, so I can say that when I tell him what's going on? Because I need to have...
Admiral Brief Cundy.
So you've heard that it is Rear Admiral Brief Cundy's birthday.
Yes. Well,
In Brief Cundy is part of Brief Cundy is in the Turian Third Fleet.
okay.
So,
And it is
Ryan,
his birthday.
I feel that you deserve an explanation of what the fuck is going on with that name. Rick and I were out picking up some special flowers, and on the way back, we noticed one of the...
You just put the...
I was just gonna have it here so I can swing it over to him and use
All right, I guess.
it. One of the roads off the highway is literally Cundy Road, C-U-N-D-Y Road, and we're like, what the fuck is that? Like, who approved that shit?
Yeah.
And then like later that day, I was typing a text message and I misspelled beef. I spelled it brief, like B-R-E-E-F, and I was like, Brief Cundy, my next RPG character's name.
But
I love it.
yeah, it's Admiral Lieutenant something, I don't know, Brief Cundy.
Rear Admiral Brief Cundy of the Turian Third Navy.
Oh, that is exactly how much she knows. She knows that he is someone Brief Cundy of Third Navy something, I don't know, rear. He's in the rear. Cundy in the rear. I don't know. Is that something? Anyway.
Brief in the rear.
Anyway, it's his birthday, and they're getting some dangerous animal for some sort of game that they're going to play on a very different planet. I don't know. So,
out of game, can we have Brief Cundy be like some sort of social engineering meme that someone put out, like the Mass Effect equivalent of 4chan?
on the extranet that is
Yeah.
Brief Cundy is just this super meme on the Mass Effect extranet.
Yeah, he's fucking
satellite
he's Q.
network.
He's the Q of the 2500s.
Oh, like James Bond Q?
No, like QAnon Q.
Oh.
I quite literally made a character who is very similar to that in my Genesys game due to roles and decisions my players made. That's how we now have Mark Ultra. Mark Ultra. He has written about every conspiracy theory you could ever imagine.
Mark Ultra and Tom Uber.
But
alright.
So there's a lot of military
the
activity.
fucking
Brief Cundy's birthday.
Brief Cundy's birthday, and there's massive military activity.
How old is
because
he?
they're getting
69.
He always finds a system where he can say that he's 69 for his birthday.
Different counting methods from different species.
He has been 69 for the past 12 birthdays that he has had because he has always found a different system.
No, he's just counting in a different base.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Base numerical system.
He's finding a different star system which uses that base numerical system, which allows him then to be.
No,
69.
even though like the galactic calendar is standardized, galactic counting is standardized. He's like, no, it's just
the traditional,
we're going in
the old Turian calendar.
Yeah.
or the like Mars years versus Earth years.
Yes. Anyway, so there's lots of military activity. We're by this window. We're staring out. We're unconcerned because of brief Gandhi.
So, you guys are watching the ships. And all of a sudden you see like a group of CSEC officers kind of run past and they look concerned. And then as you're looking out across the wards of the Citadel, which is, it's like a cone shape, Ryan. It's like kind of like this. So it can close into a cylinder or open up like that, just depending on how the Citadel is oriented to its parent star that it orbits in the nebula. You look closely and you see that the Citadel arms of the wards are beginning to close. And that doesn't normally happen unless there's an emergency. So what are you guys thinking now?
If you'd like to leave the Citadel, we should be leaving this place now.
Let's roll.
Alright.
Maybe it's not his birthday.
So, as...
or maybe it is and something else is happening.
So, as you say that, you see a distant explosion towards kind of the entrance, quote-unquote, of the Citadel, and a huge cuttlefish-looking spaceship that is multiple kilometers long. And for reference, the arms of the ward arms of the Citadel, so each prong is called a ward and they have names. One of them is called Zakara Ward, and I will bullshit the rest of the names.
Love it. Beautiful.
It's about 12 to 15 kilometers long. Let's just say 15. And a ship about 2 to 3 kilometers long, just fucking massive dreadnought, rolls in. And as it does, it annihilates one of these military ships that is like turning to engage it.
Yeah.
It's just like coming through and it's like turning to line up a shot and it just bowls through it and it explodes and just annihilated.
I'm watching in fascinated horror and I turn to him and say,
I'm a lady.
Yeah. Actually, I guess we both are.
Yeah.
I turn to her and I say, I tried something like that in my last game and it failed horribly.
And now the arms of the Citadel are closed, and there's a number of you've seen them in the game. I'm not sure if you've ever seen them in real life, but there are a number of Geth destroyers, like destroyer-class ships, and then this huge cuttlefish-looking dreadnought that is multiple kilometers long and has kind of attached itself to the Presidium Ring a number of kilometers down the wards at the base of the prongs, I guess. What do you guys... And now there's like fire alarms going off.
I want to run to where my ship is.
And there's a... Well, I don't know how far you're going to be able to get if the arms of the Citadel are closed.
Yep. That's what my thought is. I want to escape. I want to not be here. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Whatever the easiest, best course of action.
An automated voice comes over the emergency PA system saying, evacuate to your nearest CSEC precinct.
Okay.
We are under emergency lockdown.
Well then. That means shit can't leave? Well, okay. Let's go.
Okay. So you guys make your way to the nearest CSEC precinct, and there you see like a number of just citizens kind of freaking out. They're not, like, no one really knows what's going on. And you see a Drell, a very well-equipped Drell, and a Hanar, and the Hanar is speaking fervently.
What actually look like?
They're like Gila monster-looking dudes. And this Hanar is speaking fervently with like the local, not like commissioner, but like the head sergeant at the CSEC precinct.
Mm.
And the Hanar is talking to this flustered Asari, and she's like, "Dude, I don't know what to tell you." And this Hanar says, "This one demands that you allow us to leave." And the Asari CSEC sergeant is like, "Listen, no one gets in or out. I need to keep everyone safe." And this Drell, Ryan, you are this Hanar diplomat's bodyguard.
Gotcha.
And as you're kind of trying, I don't know, are you trying to calm him down? Or like you know that there's a lockdown, like you can't get to your ship.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm trying my best not to reveal how annoyed I am.
Okay.
Because I think this Hanar is accustomed to getting their way.
Okay.
And I'm aware that like this, you're not right now. You're not going to get your way. But
do you wanna RP that? I'll
sure.
try.
I mean, like right now, it's not a lot of chance. It's just like kind of like standing, but you know, my face kind of goes like fighting the.
Ryan, what is your name? Your
Nosa.
What?
Nosa.
Nosa, okay. Nosa, please inform this CSEC officer that this one demands that we are let off station. This one does not have time for this, as the humans would call it, bullshit.
How would I address this Hanar? Like what kind of, would I use any kind of honorific or?
It would like an authoritative, like, sir, but it's not like they don't have.
Maybe just call him ambassador.
He's not a full-on ambassador. He's just a diplomat. Oh no, we lost Ryan.
I'm back.
Okay. So, Ryan, I don't know how much of that you caught. Like, he's not the Hanar ambassador. He's just one of the diplomats. Like, he's on the ambassador's council, team, payroll. Sure.
Deputy ambassador.
What?
Assistant to the ambassador.
Assistant to the assistant ambassador. So this
Assistant to the regional ambassador.
Oh boy.
But yeah,
and the Hanar all have like ocean or water related names. So this Hanar's name is Little Trickle. This Hanar diplomat is the assistant to the assistant regional ambassador or a regional something like that.
I kind of lean in and say
he thinks he's hot. He thinks he's hot shit, but like he's really not.
So yeah, I lean in and in kind of a hushed tone because I don't want to embarrass them and say it with all due respect, I don't think that this officer has any control over the situation right now.
Little Trickle goes, fine, and then like floats over to a corner and does the Hanar equivalent of crossing their arms and pouting. But it's just a floaty jellyfish, so like, imagine that as you will.
I am a moment behind, but I'm 1 moment too slow because I need to take the time to just like
Collect yourself.
Yeah.
Get that eye roll in.
I'm largely disillusioned with the Hanar.
Yeah. So as you're having this conversation, in walks a Quarian and another Asari. And are you guys in like casual, there's like casual wear or like how?
Bro, we're in our fucking gaming rigs.
Yeah, okay. So like these two look totally kitted out, but for a video game tournament.
Actually, I think that in general, in sticking with Perirasha's general self, she's wearing just usual whatever clothes.
Usual whatever.
Because she doesn't... Wearing clothes too much one way or the other means that you're going to stick out somewhere, right?
Yep.
So.
Okay.
So there's one guy, or one gal, dressed to the fucking nines. What is like the most ostentatious like piece of garment that you're wearing, or adornment that you have on for Death Blaster 3000?
I have a fucking like Krogan war mantle on my chest.
Made out
ceremonial
of...
war mantle.
And like because you're a Quarian and you're like they have a pretty slight frame in general, and the Krogan are just huge. You're like swimming in it would be like the equivalent of me wearing like a quintuple XL t-shirt.
Is it like made out of like styrofoam and fashioned on you?
No, it's not quite that ghetto.
You guys
no. Like
no,
nice painted and styled. Like,
I spring for like the high end, like it's
plastics and shit.
It's an actual like mantle that has never been worn, but like it's real.
Oh shit.
So this is like an antique.
No. This is like a modern
replica
production of an antique.
Okay.
Someone 3D printing an old thing new.
Gotcha. Okay. So 3D printing is totally a thing in Mass Effect, which is funny because they mentioned 3D printing in Mass Effect 14, 15 years ago in game before 3D printing is now. So that's kind of neat. So in walks these other two people, and you guys are just kind of hearing like distant explosions. And
this could still be for the brief Rear Kundi's birthday.
You now know that it is definitely not.
It's
a birthday celebration.
Rear Brief Kundi has some weird tastes. She's trying to make light of this situation.
And so, out of game.
A Kundi in the rear.
Out of game. How do you guys feel about doing a little bit of combat?
I mean, some fighting ends up being a part of games.
Okay.
So.
I trust you, Colin, and your sense of pacing. So whatever you feel is an appropriate moment.
So, as this C-Sec sergeant is kind of like corralling people and trying to get them to calm down, she kind of calls out, like she's giving orders to the other C-Sec agents to like go and secure different things, and then she kind of calls out, hey, or she kind of walks over to you and the ambassador, and then says, hey, we've had, like, because she knows that he's a higher level government representative.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he thinks he's way more hot shit than he actually is, he's still a government representative. And so she kind of comes over to you and says, hey, we have reports of Geth landing on the Citadel, we need to get people to safe locations. This location, while safe, isn't fully secured. I can give you the location of a safe house to get to, but my men are spread too thin. And then she kind of like turns and addresses the citizens gathered here and says out loud, like, are any of you tech experts, or any of you have biotic abilities that can assist with the CSEC agents in this station?
I'm a tech specialist.
Alright.
I give a slight nod, but I'm looking because I know that this ambassador isn't going to let me go because they're so important and they need someone to watch out. So I'm going to wait for a moment to just like.
No. Ryan, what I'm thinking is that you guys are going to have to escort this diplomat to the safe house. Like, you're already...
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, like, you're already his bodyguard for the time being.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I give a slight nod to the Asari then.
Okay. So she says, you two, congrats, you're honorary agents. Please go with this Drell, and please go with this Hanar and his Drell bodyguard. Get him to this location, and it's like it's a safe house, like a couple blocks down.
Okay.
You have to go down to this quote unquote street level.
Yeah.
The equivalent of like 1 or 2 city blocks, and then up 4 floors, and that's a safe room.
Okay. Oh, also here,
I
get third left of this. We can split that.
As she says that, outside a couple Geth dropships like roar over, and they're landing Geth troops in what would be the equivalent of like the next intersection.
Okay.
So shit's about to hit the fan.
Yeah.
Roll out, boys. I'm gonna I can, depending on how you're making your way through down the stairs across 2 streets and then up a few floors, we can figure out combat from there. Because like I don't know how stealth or combat is gonna work.
Well, okay. If we wanted to do it stealth,
this is the first time I've run Genesys.
Sure.
The second time that I've played it.
if we would like to do it stealthily, we would roll stealth against the set difficulty you have, and based on our results, you would let us know how it went.
I don't know what the
Again, the difficulties, as I mentioned before, are easy, average, hard, and daunting. With the ability to change any purple die to a red if you want to make it particularly difficult for any given reason. If it is easy, you would roll 1 purple. Average, which is about where most things are, you'd roll 2.
Alright.
Hard is 3. Daunting is 4. I only have up to
let's
3.
say that there's like a half dozen Geth troops that have been dropped off in this intersection, and they're kind of fanning out and securing the area.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be average. It's definitely going to be hard.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can make it down to the stairs to the street level, but like you have to go out onto the sidewalk across 2 streets in front of these guys.
Yeah.
And then you have a grumpy Hanar.
Okay.
Who doesn't have any combat prowess.
So there are Geth troops rolling out onto the streets below us. So we have to go down, out a few blocks, right, and then up, essentially? Yep. Okay. I don't have any particular stealth ability, so I don't imagine you do.
I look at the 2 new people to the group.
Yes.
And I give that same nod and I say, Nosa. And you are?
Peirasha.
Say that again?
Peirasha. Peirasha. I went on an Asari name generator, and Peirasha is...
So, P-E-I?
Yes. Rasha. Peirasha.
Alright.
The other one that I really liked was ESHISSSHA.
That's she's so dumb.
Isisha.
So Rick, your character's name is
Peirasha. Well, at least that's the name they're using here, given on the run. Their real name, I'll figure out what their actual name is later, but they're using Peirasha right now.
Ryan. How do you spell your character's name?
Nosa.
Do you have a last name?
I don't know Drow last names.
They're Greek. Go like with generic Greek or Roman last names.
Markellos. We had a Markellos family that was close who lived down the street.
Perfect.
All right. How do I spell that?
Markellos. Markellos.
Okay, and then Harris. What's your character's name?
Baal Teshuvat. B-A-A-L.
B-A-A-L.
T-E-S-H.
Yeah.
U-V-A-T.
It's like Baal Teshuvat.
Baal Teshuvat. Okay. Perfect. All right, so you kind of make your way down like a few flights of stairs, and you're now in I don't know, like the not really like a storefront, but like it's in between two like retail shops, and then it's the entranceway to go up the rest of the building. You know,
So it's like the back alley staircase door entrance.
Something like that.
Gotcha.
The service entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like at a service entrance of this building.
Yep.
So it opens up into an alleyway, and then the alleyway T-junctions at the sidewalk, and you need to go down the sidewalk 2 blocks. Yeah, two blocks, and then it's one more building, and you go up like a couple floors, and there's a safe room.
Okay.
And so just in the intersection, right outside, down a block, like you can see line of sight down the street.
Yeah.
But they're not like immediately outside the alley. Is like half a dozen Geth.
So
Armatures, like
okay.
the humanoid-ish foot soldiers of
The
Geth.
Geth fucked up the Quarians, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you know how to deal with them particularly well, because like the Quarians have been dealing with the Geth for the last 300-400 years. You would have advantage on any sort of hacking,
Okay.
overloading their shields, or sabotaging their weapons, because like the Quarians are what originally made the Geth. Quarians made the Geth as like cheap labor or just like AI workers, and then the Geth became too self-aware, and the Quarians got scared and tried to shut them all down, but the Geth saw that as like, hey, don't murder us, right? So they rebelled and kicked the Quarians off their homeworld.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Part of my investigator's kit, the deluxe, gives me a drone, right? And I've got my cybernetic guys. What's the range on that drone, and can I send that drone ahead of us to take a nice little look and see what's going on?
Drone has a range of 1,000 feet.
Great. Well, what I'll do is, we don't have anything in the rules, but it sounds fair if I, similar to using a tech power, suffer some strain, so that way I can, fold in my cybernetic eyes, and I'd like to do some sort of roll. Scouting ahead to check out our path.
Combat drone is a thing in the book.
Yeah, I know combat drone is a thing, but I have, in the investigator's kit, it gives me a drone which allows me to see things, but also like create holographic images, and because I have my cybernetic eyes, I'd like to just sort of hook right into that and just kind of let it run for a little bit. So, what kind of roll seems fair for that?
Whatever roll would be your tech powers.
Okay, so that would be my hacking.
Yeah.
So I would suffer 2 strain after everything is resolved. So hacking, I have 2 yellow and 1 green against. What would the difficulty be?
I mean, this drone is something that you can do pretty easily.
Yeah.
But it's more a difficulty of how well do you want it to not be seen.
Exactly.
Because,
that's what I'm asking.
Because it's a glowing, floating ball.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
I would say that would be So easy, average, hard, and then daunting?
Yep.
Okay, this will be a hard.
Alright, cool.
If it didn't glow so much, like if it wasn't such a brightly glowing ball, then
Yeah.
it would be average. Or maybe even easy. Like if there's 0 threat and you want to
Yeah.
scout ahead.
Well,
easy.
I mean, right now, I'm not trying to hide it. I'm just trying to see what's happening and get it back to me. I don't care if they know that something is looking.
You don't care that it's looking, then make it average.
Yeah.
But they might shoot at your drone to disrupt the hologram, and then if they hit it, then
Yeah.
if they see it and then connect to hit, then it ends.
I have 1 success and 1 advantage.
1 success and 1 advantage. Okay. So you fly your drone, and there is a holographic billboard.
Yeah.
And you fly your drone, and it's kind of like a fighter pilot coming out of the sun.
Yeah.
You put your drone right alongside this billboard, and you're like strafing sideways across this holographic billboard.
Yeah.
So that the Geth soldiers can't see your holographic drone, and you're able to discern the exact layout of these. Perfect. There are 6 corks on.
When Colin figures it out, because the webcam is movable, we can move the camera so you can see right on top of it.
They're just roughly arranged in the equivalency of a circle or like a snowflake. In
Yeah.
6. So like.
Hexagon?
Yeah, just a hexagon. It's.
Okay.
See
Cool. I can see
the
that.
corks on the table there? Like that.
Yep.
So that's just in the middle. Like imagine there's street here and a street here. They're just in the middle of the intersection and they're just kind of holding it.
Yeah.
But they're not like going building to building or patrolling. They're just holding that area and looking around.
Okay.
But like you're like to get across the street to the safe house, you're gonna have to go through that intersection, like
Okay.
across that crosswalk that's like right here.
Yep.
So you will have to engage them, or get them to go somewhere else.
Yep. We'll have to deal with those people.
Yes, you're gonna have
somehow.
to deal with that threat.
Alright, great. So yeah, drone. So I think as we're leaving and heading out, I don't think we really have much of a plan. So this will be like the dialogue that happens right before.
Okay.
So I'm going to check things out ahead of us. Because have you and I ever done any sort of job together? I think we just know about the game stuff.
I think we're like
Yeah.
game acquaintances.
Yeah, we're just game buddies. So like the drone just kind of pops out of the arm, and like you know about the eyes because that's how part of what makes her competitive. But she just sort of connects up the eyes. Let's just check this on ahead, and the drone flies on out and it comes back, and once it comes back, it's projecting the holographic display of the location, so now all of y'all can see what she has been for this time. So it seems as though we need to get to this location, and like the building lights up in red, and we need to enter this door, and it like that door now has another color, but we're going to need to find a way past these individuals, whatever that means to you.
I mean, I've always been partial to stabbing.
Ah, well, I've been partial to letting other people do stabbing. And be stabbed, mind you.
Alright.
Oh, I'm good at both.
Ah, well, I should hope you should only be good at one.
Yeah, well, you don't get good at one without getting good at the other.
No, most people get good at the former without getting good at the latter. If they're
No,
really
see.
good at the former.
I'm good at getting stabbed and not dying. It's
Ah.
the and a half, right?
I
It's,
see.
Alright.
I'd focus on the former more than the latter.
you would.
The Hanar isn't saying anything, but he's doing the Hanar equivalent of wringing his hands as he's looking at the hologram.
Don't worry. We'll take care of this. You are in no danger.
Alright.
This moment.
Yeah, I try not to say that bit because he's a little...
Ah.
I mean, I'm just gonna straight up ask. I'm sorry. Your character's name is
Nosa.
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 I was about to say Tosa, but I'm like, no, that's a Japanese dog.
I wrote down names there.
Okay, Nosa Markellos.
Yeah.
I look at Nosa and I just ask, like, are you often in the habit of lying to your principals?
I am in the habit of making my life as easy as possible. And
Fair
a fight,
enough.
I'm fine with a fight.
And
Assholes, I'm fine with assholes. But assholes who I'm supposed to be subservient to?
Fair enough.
and telling a truth is not telling the truth.
Luckily, your Hanar charge, I guess,
Yeah.
was out of earshot for that.
Yeah, there's definitely a moment where I was kind of like
Principal.
looking behind. Like,
I mean-
that's the actual term.
Principal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just a big, stupid jellyfish.
He's out of blob shot.
Actual, out of blob shot. Actual line from the game. You're just a big, stupid jellyfish. I love when Mark Meir says that, dude. Alright. So how do you guys want to engage these guys? I'll leave it up to you. Like, they're not gonna, these Geth aren't gonna do anything until you aggro them. Or, like, you come out in the open and you're detected.
Okay, so
Like, you can, like, peek around the corner and, like, distract, like, if you use, like, overcharge or sabotage or, you can hack, like, you could probably hack one of them and make them fight each other, or, like, fight the one, right? And that'll throw them into chaos.
I'm gonna point at Mr. Drell and say, we haven't been introduced yet. I'm Bale Teshuvit. What's your name?
no, sir.
What kind of hardware do you have?
I gesture down to my sword, and I also like show my what are they called? The biotic.
Your Omni tool?
No.
Yes, that's the one.
You have amp. You have an
Oh,
amp.
Biotic Amp.
An amp.
Yeah. So, like, you would have, like, you could gesture, just kind of, like, turn, and you kind of, like, point at the base of your skull, and there's, like, clearly an implant.
So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
so
say I can fuck up their shields or their weapons. Which do you prefer?
So this is like out of character. What's more important for me running in melee attacks?
Probably their shields.
Yeah. Like, if you try to connect a melee weapon with a shielded opponent, it's like,
Well, they're shielded.
yeah, it would be like when you scoop into a bowl, it will follow the contour of the bowl,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
forcibly. You know, you can't, like, it would take a significant amount of force to stab through the bowl.
In
kind
this,
of way.
so
So,
armor
like-
is armor function the same way that does in vanilla Genesis? Like it just adds scope or adds difficulty.
I'm gonna say that
attack type?
these Geth are like they're made out of metal, but like they don't look like these are just some basic foot soldiers, and they don't look particularly well armored, even if they do have some pretty heavy small arms held by them. You know, they have shields, but they're not like you're not gonna need armor piercing ammunition to get through.
Well, yeah,
their
I'm
armatures.
just wondering in terms of mechanics though.
Okay.
Does this armor does it just give them more soak or does it add setback dice or?
I don't know how that. I've never done
So
that
in this
before.
case, he's asking, if their armor, if Ryan hits them, will their armor reduce the damage that they take, or will it make it more difficult to hit them?
Oh, it will reduce the damage that they take.
So soak.
Soak. Yeah, we'll go with soak.
Okay.
Not necessarily like you can hit them, but like because it's a machine, like you're not gonna hit an organ and like it's gonna cause pain and they'll bleed. Like you're gonna have to fucking chop each one in half.
Yeah.
Or like.
That's not the part I'm worried about. It's just the
Mechanically.
sheer mechanics, like
Yeah.
mechanics as in like game mechanics.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
in-universe mechanics.
Because they're robots.
Yep.
So like.
Yep. Game mechanics is what we're
Yeah.
concerned with.
But you can definitely use your biotic powers to like render them inoperable. You know,
Mhm.
Like if you stagger one of them and then just like hit it with a biotic power that like tosses it against the wall, if that does enough
Mhm.
force
Mhm.
damage, quote unquote, like that will render the machine inoperable because you just didn't necessarily fry its circuits, but like the hardware is no longer functional. Because it's like dropping your computer and it's just like, oh, it's done. You know what I mean?
No, like I said, the only thing I was wondering about were the game mechanics. I wasn't sure if there were
Okay.
extra
Yeah.
rules about shields or if it's just.
Yeah. So like if you can, Ryan, one of the game mechanics that's good. Now this is in universe. I guess it.
Yeah, I'm not asking about in universe stuff. I'm
Okay.
literally asking about how does Genesis handle this?
Okay.
Yep.
Setting aside
it would
all
be-
Mass
That's
Effect
all.
stuff.
That's all.
Okay. It would be.
Yep,
It would be
it's-
soak.
Yeah, adding to soak.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not asking about the universe. I'm not asking about Geth. I'm asking about like what does the Genesis book say or what does the Singularity book say about armor? How
Yeah.
does it work?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're using it for
go with,
soak.
we'll go with soak. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what it actually says, but
We'll
we'll go with that
Yeah.
because it would.
Yeah.
It's easy, and I don't want to do too much crunch.
let's do soak.
All right.
Alright, then mess up their armor.
All right. I've forgotten what that actually is called.
You can
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
You can sabotage, you can overload, and you can even AI hack them. An AI hack will be more difficult than sabotaging their weapons and doing an overload to their shields will be average. Hacking one of them to cause that one Geth to start to aggro against the other 5, that will be a hard.
What does sysops do?
That's defensive hacking.
Okay.
That's if someone's trying to hack you, you would stop them.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you have tech components in your suit for like life support and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, like, I can try and hack one of them and have it fight the others. It's gonna be a lot harder, but
I can hack armor. That's not an issue. Which one do you want to cut through?
I point at one that is towards the back.
Great.
Okay.
I'll handle that.
I point to like the hologram.
Yeah.
My basic plan is I'm going to charge in and then try to catch them off guard
All right.
by appearing in a place that there shouldn't be someone just appear. Like I was about to point at my screen. So I want to appear in the center, kind of like in the center of the circle towards the one who's farthest away from us.
Okay.
Oh, one fun thing that I can do for you is do tactical cloak on you to make it more difficult for you to be seen, so that way you can pop up in a much more unexpected way.
Oh, I have a charge move that just lets me kind of almost teleport. It's not teleportation that
Yeah.
I dematerialize and materialize somewhere else, but
You
I
move so fast.
instantaneously move.
Yeah.
Alright, dope. Never mind. Cool.
So yeah, my idea is to pop up kind of in the middle.
Yep.
To surprise them because there shouldn't be anyone there, and
Yep.
then move around behind one
Now-
and attack.
Ryan, if you do your biotic charge on one of those Geth, you can impact them, and that will stagger them and strip their shields at the same time.
I think is that the shockwave move?
No, that's biotic charge. Shockwave is you do like a Kamehameha sort of, and it sends out like a rippling shockwave in front of you in a cone, and it had shockwave has like a 50-foot maximum distance, and then it's in like a 20-degree cone of everything within that cone will take a certain amount of both they'll be knocked prone and they take a certain amount of force damage.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the description for charge in the rules, the Singularity rules, and it just says, before rolling an attack, as an incidental, your character may instantly perform a number of move maneuvers in the direction of your target, equal to your character's rank in knowledge,
Dope.
physical science.
Yeah.
So it just gives me, like, extra move.
Yeah. You can also dash
Yeah.
biotically as well. Charge is
You're gonna charge in.
Yeah.
I want to hack a boy.
Okay. Hack.
Yep. They've got sabotage because that's what I want to do.
Yep.
Essentially it says that it makes them their checks they get decreased, but in this case it would just make Ryan's check one easier if it works.
Okay.
It says it would be a synthetic. It would be average. It's 2 purple. It says average here for just sabotage. Unless I want to add any modifiers to it, which I don't. I don't want to add any modifiers.
I will scroll up. If you have the tech powers pulled up,
This
I'm
page
gonna scroll
44.
up to the.
Page 44.
I'm gonna scroll up to the biotic.
Yeah. Well, I have
Powers
them
for
both
Ryan.
pulled up because it's such
Okay.
a fast thing. Like it takes nothing to get there.
Yeah.
So
Attack modifiers.
So yeah, against average, and it's my hacking, which again is 2 yellow, 1 green.
Yeah.
So I'll hack that guy's shields, and then you can cut him through, and then you hack a boy.
Yeah, I'll try and hotwire one of these fuckers.
I have a triumph, 2 successes. I have a triumph and a success.
Okay.
So
Nice.
this dude's armor is
So.
hacking hacked.
Dunzo.
Ooh, can the triumph be that I end up accidentally locking his armor in place?
No. You can say that the triumph. I have one better.
I love it.
The triumph is that Geth aggroes against the other 5.
Mm.
So you have hacked it
Yeah.
so well that it doesn't. You reversed its friend from foe
Oh.
protocols,
Okay.
and now it is.
I accidentally did what you wanted to do. I'm sorry.
You can do that on another one. Now you have 2 temporary allies.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yes, I wanted to make it easier for you to cut into him, but instead I have made it very easy for him to cut into his friends.
Now I'm gonna say you guys have. I don't know how like attacks of opportunity would work. Or like, you guys would get like a bonus action, I guess. Or like, you guys can all engage. Like, you get a bonus round to engage.
I mean, yeah, we
these
had planned
other-
and surprised. So
Yeah.
This is
You have-
hard, right?
hard is 3 purple.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard to hack, but like,
Remind me what.
give Harris like. Is there a dice for like?
There's a boost die, blue die, because you said he has general dealings with the Geth, so they should have. So a blue die would be natural for that. So what is your skill? It'd be hacking.
Yeah, hacking.
So
2.
based off of your int, right? Or is it your will?
Intellect.
Int.
Yeah.
So what is your int?
3.
3. So you also would have 2 yellow and 1 green.
So give me a roll.
So wow, you have a shit ton of advantages. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3 disadvantages, but 1, 2, 3 successes. So these are 4. You have 2 advantages and 3 successes.
Okay. 2 advantages and 3
Yeah,
successes.
'cause these 2 cancel there.
So
This cancels there. So 2, 3. 3 successes, 2 advantages.
I'm gonna say, Harris, you hack another one of the Geth. Wait, tell me how many are on the board again?
There were 6 Geth, right?
No, on Harris's roll.
2 advantages and
2
3
advantage,
successes.
3 success. Okay. So the 2 success. Sorry, 2 success, 3 advantage, right?
No,
I'm just gonna run and grab a drink.
3
Yeah,
success.
grab a drink. 3 success, 2 advantage.
3 success, 2 advantage.
What I'd like to suggest for those advantages is that his Geth knows not to shoot the Geth that I set up.
Perfect.
Thinking of portals.
My Geth doesn't know not to shoot your Geth, but your Geth knows not to shoot mine.
Right. So Harris's got, and then the 3 advantage are,
Well, the
3 successes.
The 3
3
successes.
success.
Because I
That's
think
the 3. That could
yeah,
be the 3
so-
success, and then 2 advantage.
well, that's what the advantages would have been. The success, as long as he has 1 success, generally that means
Okay.
that it ends up working.
Does more than 1 success do anything else then? Or-
Usually only for combat damage, for like dealing like if say he were shooting, you would want to count the amount of
Okay.
successes because then those add into additional damage. But because he's not shooting, he's just doing a skill. Its successes are just a binary thing in this case.
Okay.
So the
Alright.
I don't know if you heard, the advantages we have are his Geth knows not to shoot my Geth, but mine doesn't know not to shoot his. Ooh.
Oh,
What's that one?
jam up the mash. A
Yes,
hop
jam up
salad.
the mash is delicious.
So, Rick's Geth is berserking against the other 5.
Yep.
And Harris's Geth
Going against the other 4.
is going up against the other 4 and knows not to shoot Rick's
Yep.
Geth.
Yep.
Ryan, what you guys are in a surprise action bonus round. What do you do?
How's it taste?
I am going to charge in and just start hacking away at some of them.
Fuck.
Not any of the ones that are temporarily on our side.
Okay. So, that'll be your biotic ability, and because you're trained to do this,
Oh yeah.
this will be not hard. I'm gonna say it's average difficulty for you to connect the blow, and then we'll see how well you dish out some hacking, but not electronic hacking, some sword hacking, hack and slashing. Based on how many advantage or disadvantage you do. So just roll to figure. It'll be average difficulty to do. Aw, kitty.
She's not often a lap cat either. This is
Oh.
a special occasion.
Extra good.
Nice.
So yeah. So it'd be if it's
Okay, I add 1 purple because I'm using my biotic charge,
Okay.
Okay.
and then I roll my biotics.
Yep.
That is 3 green, 1 yellow.
Nice. Cute kitty.
4 successes.
Haha.
Nice.
Dope.
4 successes, no advantage or anything, just 4 successes.
No advantages, just 4 successes.
Okay.
Dope.
So you make it in the middle of this melee, unharmed and instantaneously, and I will give you 1 more bonus action as these Geth have yet to react. They're currently reacting to the friendly fire. And
Okay.
they're slow to react to you just appearing in the middle of them with your sword drawn, and you have an SMG. Ryan only has a sword, and you don't have any weapons. You just do tech stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Or magic.
Or magic. Tech
So I'm going
and
to take
magic.
my attack then.
Yeah. You get a bonus attack, Ryan.
Swing that melee. Yeah, talk
Well, I
out.
also get my regular attack.
Oh, that's because of the charge.
Yeah. So Ryan, you have 2 attacks right now. You have your regular attack, and then I give you a bonus.
We're using Mook HP, where it's just one big pool for them all.
Yeah.
Dope. Love it. Fuck
I'm just
'em
gonna
up.
like if you do a very successful attack, like you're just gonna kill one, and then like
Yeah.
I don't even have like a pool of HP numbers in my head. It's just
Right.
like that sounds sufficient to kill one
That
of them.
sounds even. That sounds good. So get those attacks in, right, guy.
Okay, so first attack.
It's melee,
So
right?
I'm gonna-
Melee is always average.
Yes, it is. Okay, so it's 2 purple, and I roll 1 green, 2 yellow.
Hoo-hoo.
Yeah. 2 successes and a triumph.
Oh!
Nice, okay. 2 success and 1 triumph.
There we go. Rolling them triumphs out.
Ryan, that was correct. 2 success and 1
That
triumph.
is correct.
Okay. So before one of these Geth, you kill this Geth, but describe to me how you kill one of these Geth.
So I flash in, and my sword is already drawn, and while it's still just kind of like, it's not even fully aware of me yet, like the routines haven't completed their computational cycle, and I just like slash up once, taking off an arm, and then across, and just take off its head.
Okay.
And in that moment, right as the head chops off, that's when the POV shifts to the inside view of the Geth's like HUD, And it is at that moment that it recognizes what you are when it gets thump, like the screen is completely inverted, flipped upside down, and then it drops.
Yeah.
Like the last thing that Geth thinks is identified as a Drell.
Yep.
And then dead.
Exactly.
Ryan, you get one more attack.
Alright, I'm just gonna keep that gravy train running.
Yeah.
Alright, so one of them's dead.
Dude,
One success this time.
what is this cat's name?
Sovie.
Sovie?
Yeah,
fucking
Sovie.
She's digging on it, man.
Yeah. She's very pleased right now.
See, my nails are always too short to give good scratches on animals.
You don't need good nails.
No, I don't have nails ever.
Yeah, I
don't. One success.
She sheds a lot, so I think she's also just enjoying, like, I'm getting a lot of her winter coat free still.
Oh, okay.
So
Ryan, you have one more success on your second attack?
Yeah, just one
one?
success. No advantages or threats.
So,
Okay.
what's the baseline damage of your sword? Because you deal that plus 1.
3 plus my brawn, which is also 3, I think.
So then you would deal 7
6,
total.
7.
7 total damage?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does your sword have any qualities that would make it? Because some swords have qualities that let them reduce soak or increase crit or other things like that.
No, I didn't.
How would I do?
Okay.
Just soak in general is like the health pool.
So soak is the damage they take before it hits their hit points. So it's whatever damage. So say you have a soak of 5, right?
Okay.
I hit you for 7. You only take 2. It's the equivalent of damage reduction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan has success.
Yep. He's dealt 7, and their soak would be whatever it is.
I didn't.
An appropriate amount of soak here would probably be between 3 and 4.
Let's say that each of these has a soak of 3.
Okay, so this one takes 4.
4 damage.
Yep.
Alright. Ryan, you attack with your sword again. And this second Geth that you attack takes a good slash. How do you hack at it?
I think I'm, like, basically, I have in mind, like, try to disable their weapon first. So I'm, like, because I know that the Geth don't feel pain, so there's no real benefit to, like, trying to go for vital areas or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like, I think a lot of my technique surrounds, like, disabling their, like, limbs, because that disables it, like, that makes them less effective at hurting me. I mean, that's all color. I'm not asking for any special effects or anything like that.
No, that works. Alright, so one success. You don't chop off its arm holding a weapon, but you chop off its opposite arm.
Okay.
So it can still
ain't got no shield arm.
It can still shoot, but like its accuracy is going to be reduced.
Put one down. That arm's gone.
And it could still like butt you with the gun. Like one hand it might just like bap.
Yeah.
Alright. What's next? Are they responding?
Got those arm guns. Man.
I'm gonna say Rick's so these two darker corks are the Geth that you guys have hacked.
Yeah.
What's up?
There are Gethstages.
They call me the negotiator.
So those two are the Geth that you guys hacked. And the other 3 are still hostile. One of these Geth strips the shields with assault rifle fire on one of the other Geth. And the super berserk Geth has just run up to the other one and is like beating it. Like with the
using its gun as a club.
Yeah, it's just like it has turned its club, or it has turned its gun around and is just using the butt of the rifle to like wail on this one. But it's its shields are still up, so they're just kind of like, it's hitting like
Yeah.
you know, the barrier of like blop blop blop, but like the shields are fading.
Yeah. Shit.
And this Geth is like, what the fuck? It's the robot equivalent of like, what the actual fuck?
Being
And
pinned
then-
down by your friend, having
Yeah.
just jam his fucking rifle butt in your face.
And then the
repeatedly.
third Geth is shooting at the Berserk Geth, but the Berserk Geth, in going Berserk, overloaded his shields. So like it's taken a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that like these guys, like there's a significant more soak that they have when their shields are up, but like once the shields are down,
Yeah.
they're pretty easy to kill.
Okay.
Protoss Archons.
Yeah. I mean like hitting them center mass with a shot isn't gonna do a whole lot. Like you need to deconstruct them, quote unquote, like take off limbs or
So is that
Really
like, when we're
fill
talking
them
about
full of-
shields? Is this just color, or does this have a mechanical effect?
color, I guess. Like
This little bit here that Colin's talking is color, but shield in general I think does have mechanical effect. So you're saying they have like a certain amount of soak damage that they can take, and then they don't have it anymore?
yes.
Okay, so shields in this case are like temporary HP, which bleeds into actual, and then once that temporary
Okay.
HP is gone, then they don't have it anymore.
Yeah. They would
Is that
either-
how it worked for us as well?
if you have shields.
I think after this session, that'd be a good
Or
thing to.
or if
Yeah.
you have a
get,
bio,
right?
if you have either
agree.
mechanic, if you have either shields as part of your armor, or if you have a
'Cause I-
biotic barrier.
Because I don't think shields or anything that came up in the Singularity book, like I don't think that is a mechanic that they
Okay.
tried to emulate. So I think after this session, we should just be clear on if shields are just color or if they have a mechanical effect, and if they have a mechanical effect, what is that effect? But we can save that for after the session.
I'll need to think about that then, because I'm thinking about it too literally in the sense of the game, than it is for the sense of role playing this in a Genesis style.
Yeah, and I think it can work either way. It's just
Okay.
We need
it
to
would,
know.
I know it'd at least be helpful for me just to have it straight in my head,
Right.
so I can make appropriate decisions about. Like I'll have a sense of like, how much danger am I in, or
Right.
how
Yeah,
easy is it going to be to hurt this thing?
understanding the reality and gravity of the challenges allows you to make more tactical, influenced, weighted, and real decisions.
Okay.
But yeah, like I'm not too concerned about it for just one session. So
Especially
I'm
something that's just sort of flashback.
Especially as it's
yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly. This is as much a test run as it is anything else.
Yeah.
And so
All right. All these Geth are engaged. I guess.
yeah.
Are we still like round robining
I mean,
for combat? With
I
you
want
guys?
to just if all these Geth are engaged, let's remove the active threats and just keep going. Yeah, we don't.
Don't fight
Are
the
they gonna
fights
do
you don't
anything
have to
else?
fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there are any active threats right now because
They haven't. They've only noticed Ryan.
Yeah.
They have not noticed you two.
Yeah, I think what we should do now is get that Hanar across the way.
Yeah. Just a quick out of game. Do you have more combat encounters planned for us in this? Because
Not really.
I'm fading fast.
No.
Okay.
I'm at 10.
Once you guys deliver this Hanar, I was just gonna like narrate, and then we
Okay.
were gonna fast forward to the quote unquote present.
Okay.
And we could call it there. Because I saw you starting to get tired, and I'm like, ooh. Like
Yeah.
I thought that like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
dragging this out. way
Digging
too
a
much.
hole is not easy.
Well,
Yes.
it's actually
It is,
I'm like sleeping on human hours, so like
Yeah.
I haven't fully clocked around. Like I slept from like 9 to 5:30, 9 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. this morning.
mm,
Excuse me.
So I'm just
Yep.
yeah, you just
tired.
All right.
yeah, fair.
But okay.
Yeah. So let's get this. Let's
So
get it
yeah,
across. The
I think
way.
what I like to do is use tactical cloak on this Hanar.
Yeah.
Sort of cover him up and just get him across the way.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll go with, because
Yeah.
I can cloak myself.
So that would be an average hacking check, and until successful, they add green to their.
Yeah.
Okay, so average hacking check. That's 2 purple. My hacking is 2 yellow, 1 green.
And Harris, it's pretty easy for you because it's built into your armor and your
That is 3 successes and 2 advantages.
Okay.
To cloak this Hanaran.
So he is 100% cloaked.
Great.
And they will not notice him at all.
Great.
Moving across.
Let's go.
They might notice you.
Yeah. But that's fine, because
I'm
you're
going-
going to
I'm
be the
going
one
with-
taking him across, and I'll figure
So-
my own way out after. That's fine.
What am I actually... What skill am I using?
So if you're using tactical cloak, that's
Yeah.
just, it's...
You're doing your hacking skill. And then... I'm going to say it's easy for you because it's on yourself. And it's part of your armor.
One?
Yeah,
like
one purple.
Is that a... No, that's not a triumph, but, so that's...
Let's see. You have no successes, but you have 2 advantages.
Okay.
So let's just say my cloak hasn't really engaged, but the Geth are just quite literally not directing their sensory apparatus at me,
At
like
all.
in our direction at all.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that I'm not cloaked. We can literally just fucking roll.
There's a bus along the side. It's like a bus.
A tram.
Yeah, there's like a tram that is stopped, and you can walk behind that. So you're not cloaked, but they're not going to see you line of sight, and they're also engaged.
Yeah.
All right, so
Does
I'm
that
gonna
work?
roll out with my SMG, and I'm gonna go out in front of the Hanar. Like, let's
Okay.
do this thing.
Ryan, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna continue my.
Murder spree.
Yeah. Just a word.
I'm going to take this opportunity to throw this away.
Okay.
I put the chicken in the fridge because
Nice.
it occurred to me that like Samson was out
I'm
there.
back.
Hello.
Chicken.
Yeah, we don't want Samson eating our food. Ryan, I don't know how many attacks you get. It's up to you, dude. Like, do what you
I
do
get.
what you want.
I mean, I get 1 attack.
Okay.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh,
Give an
I'm gonna
example
use
of lifting a
throw.
vehicle.
So I'll do an attack, and if it hits, I can throw somebody away.
Sure.
So I'm gonna do a basic attack, and then
A biotic throw.
yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Do it to it.
2 purple.
Yeah. Biotic throw is +1 purple. Looks
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
And I use.
Ryan,
Am I using my
I'm gonna
fire-
say in the future, like when we go back to present 2 years from now, that's gonna be something that's a lot easier for you. You have practiced it.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good to me. So I'll roll my melee attack then.
Sure.
2 successes, but 2 threats.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Oh, I don't know if I don't know if I can throw, because it's I can spend 1 boost to move the target. So my throw is ineffective, but I still get my attack, which does a total of 8 damage. Or
Oh.
8. Oh, that's really sorry.
Slide back down. That's my sliding sound.
so your biotic attack was not successful.
The attack was
Yeah,
the throw.
I don't get to throw because I can spend a boost
Okay.
to
So
throw, but
your throw misses, and it kind of hits a shop window right behind one of these geth and just explodes this tempered glass storefront just everywhere.
Shards flying.
Everywhere.
but I still land my attack.
Okay.
Yep.
So you hit it for what, 8?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna say you slash through this other geth, and now there's another one dead.
Cool.
So it's 2 hostile geth and 2 hacked geth. Harris, you and the cloaked Hanar have made it across the street.
Yep.
And you get him into the alleyway. Instead of 2 blocks, let's just shorten this to 1.
Sounds delightful.
Because
I figured it was that whole space from where we left to where we were getting to. That was 2 blocks. Is what I figured.
Just whatever.
Yeah.
You're getting across the place.
Yep.
So Harris, you have gotten this Hanar into the alley, and he is safe for the time being in the next service entrance, and you can go back around the corner and kind of guard him and take pot shots or do tech stuff into these 4 geth.
Yeah. So
I'm just doing this round robin. If you guys think of stuff of how you can augment this combat
Yeah,
based
I have
on
an idea.
previous.
Where was that bus? Because I was looking at the telekinesis power, and it suggests, adding a difficulty to make it average, and lifting a vehicle at the cost of taking 2 strain and doing that. So what I'd like to do, not crush anybody with it, but you said the dark ones are on our side, correct?
Yeah.
So essentially, what I want to do is pick up this bus and thump it there, basically blocking in the berserk geth, the other 2 that are not berserk, but not on our side, and just sort of trapping them up against a building.
Okay.
I'm willing to add an additional
it's a
purple
whole
die.
It's a whole bus.
Oh yeah. What I want to do is make that a hard check.
Okay.
And take 3 strain at the end of it.
It would be
a bus.
It would be average to just move the bus willy-nilly. It would be hard to put the bus exactly how you want to do it.
That's exactly what I figured, and why I was willing right from the get-go to call that a hard check.
Cool.
So, yep. We'll do this. Do.
Make that roll.
Yeah. They're not paying attention to me, so I have more time to focus. Can I add a blue die?
Sure.
Yeah. See, 3 disadvantages, 3 threats, but that cancels completely. That cancel, leaving me with 4 successes to pick this bus up and box those other ones in.
4 successes.
And I take 3 strain.
You take a steady stance. It would be this
position.
It's kind of like how you watch Earthbenders when they move in
Yeah.
Avatar, when they move a really big object. They take that horse stance
Oh yeah.
and just go, ooh, that.
Yeah.
So you do one of those.
Yeah.
And you pick up this tram.
It's just sort of.
And it floats in the air, and it's above their heads. And then you just drop it in the middle of the intersection,
Yeah.
cutting off
The berserk geth and the other 2.
the berserk geth from the other 2. So now these guys are not going to see you at all.
Yeah.
They're engaged.
Yeah, and that's the friendly one.
And this
that
is the
doesn't
friendly
matter,
one.
So.
So if you want to hit it with one more hack to make it shut down, you can.
Sure.
All right. Do it to it.
What difficulty on that?
The same difficulty as before when you rolled for your hack.
Oh, I forgot because of my the equipment I have. I'm supposed to add a green die to it, so I have additional successes and advantages, Colin.
I have one failure,
Okay.
3 advantages, and a triumph.
Okay, so
What is
you
it?
don't succeed at what you're doing, but something else really good happens. So you're trying to shut it off. You don't shut it off, but maybe you just fucking blow its head. I have no idea.
I think it just suffers a catastrophic circuit failure.
Sure.
Because yeah, you were
just kind of melts in on itself.
So this geth,
you hacked this geth to feel pain as it dies.
this geth, like its chest just explodes and releases shrapnel all over the side of this tram that Rick just dropped, and this geth just kind of crumples.
Yeah.
And clatters to the ground.
Oh, I forgot. Because of my biotic upgrade, I'm supposed to reduce 1 purple any telekinesis check that I make.
Nice.
So that hard should have been easy, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You did it.
It was done anyway.
Cool.
Crushing horses,
Yeah,
baby.
you guys make it across the street, and now you're all at the service entrance, and you're gonna make it up the stairs. You go up a couple floors, and there is a waiting CSEC officer rather, kind of like standing by a control panel, and a very unassuming panel, but it's a door to a safe room.
And you
And,
didn't come to help us?
And I was given strict orders not to leave this position and to keep this door guarded. Are you
Now you're
small
superior
trickle.
officers, yes.
Small trickle and retinue.
yeah,
Yes, we are now your superior officers, that is correct.
small.
Emphasis
Are
on
you the-
superior.
Are you were the ones escorting Small Trickle? Yes.
Yes.
All right. So you
I show some kind of
Oh, at this point, I take the cloaking off of Small Trickle, because he's continuing to be cloaked. Ah, yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
excellent.
Anyway, sorry, what were you saying, Ryan?
I pull out some kind of like identification or like passport or some papers that would
Multipass.
indicate
Yes.
you just kind of flash your badge to this CSEC officer, and he's like, "Oh yes, all right, right away," and he lets you all into the safe room. And just before he shuts the door, you hear this. Like as this is happening, you notice like if you had been looking up, the Citadel arms weren't closed. It wasn't enclosed anymore, and it started to open up. And like as you guys look out, there's a series of deafening booms, and now there is a starship melee happening within the within the confines of the Citadel. And you see a few dozen human alliance ships engaging the Geth ships and annihilating them. The Turian fleet is escorting a badly damaged Asari dreadnought to a safe distance because it kind of got fucked up in the beginning. And then now all the Alliance ships are engaging this giant cuttlefish looking huge dreadnought that is on the Presidium, and you guys are just like watching this, and the CSEC officer was like in the midst of closing the door, but like he's awestruck by this space battle that's happening, and it's like right above your heads basically.
Yeah.
Like going to a fireworks display.
Except people die.
Well, yeah. And so.
Oh wait, no, that is fireworks. Never mind.
And so you're kind of watching, and you see a number of ships turn to engage this huge dreadnought, and they line up their main batteries, and they all unleash like full salvos on this thing, and they just tear through and cause significant damage, and it's kind of like listing, and then another couple ships open up on its back, and those rounds penetrate, and it explodes. Like, there's this brilliant flash of light, and it explodes, and there's like debris, and that's when the CSEC officer kind of comes to his senses and goes, "All right, everyone inside," and kind of ushers you guys in. Scene. We are now back to the present. It is 2 years later-ish. And, Ryan, you still work for the Hanar government. But you don't have to work for that.
Little trickle.
You don't have to work for that,
Little trickle.
sycophant
That's.
little trickle.
I mean, just calling you don't have to work for that little trickle works perfectly.
Yeah, you don't have to work for that little trickle anymore.
That's a new. Add that to the list, boys.
That
Now I'm
little-
starting to smell the pizza. Little trickle.
And you guys, so you three are all in Ryan's ship, I guess.
You got a ship?
As a special agent of the Hanar government, as a drill operative, Ryan is free to go and handle things that the Hanar need taken care of. But you have a lot of leeway in how you can do that. You're not like full-on Spectre status where you can kind of go and do whatever in the galaxy, and you're your own sheriff sort of deal across the galaxy.
Yeah.
And dispense
I mean,
justice
think-
how you please. But like, you have a lot of leeway within the Hanar government to take care of the tasks assigned.
I think part of it is because I am good at what I do, but also if they tried to tighten that leash, I wouldn't respond to it. Like I'm a bit disillusioned with their whole.
The
Kidnapping.
Hanar are quite uptight, to put it the very least.
And I'm very happy to say that like what they do to the Drell is kidnapping.
Yeah. Essentially, yes.
I'm the one's like, I'll call it what it is. It's kidnapping.
Yeah, they
Kidnapping and
create
brainwashing.
child soldiers from early childhood to raise them as operatives because the Hanar are incapable of doing so on their own. And so you guys are rolling up on Omega, which is this hollowed out asteroid way out in buttfuck nowhere terminus systems on one of the farthest edges of the galaxy. Because Ryan, you have heard that there might be a potential job for you, and then you guys are mildly interested in this this operation.
We're
Hear the tambourines in the
We're-
baseline.
vagrants and vagabonds.
Yeah.
I mean, we go.
Also,
we go where our friend who can go places goes.
Yeah, and so also like
Find ways to make ourselves useful both to our friend and the people there.
Rick, for you, Omega is very much outside of galactic law.
Mm-hmm.
So
Really good for both me and my boss man partner.
So you might be able to pick up some really interesting intel out here for the Shadow Broker.
Oh yeah.
And then people always have black market and highly experimental modifications to all sorts of things. And you being a tech expert and you're still on your Quarian pilgrimage, you might be able to find some cool shit that you can either directly take back to the fleet or it will lead you to something that you can take back to the fleet for your pilgrimage. If you're zonked, we can call it here.
It sounds like we're calling it here.
But all I got.
Dope.
We
This
can
was fun, Kyle.
arrive on Omega next time.
This was fun stuff.
Thank you, Colin.
This was very
No
fun.
problem.
Thank you.
Alright.
Congratulations on your first game.
Yeah, you did it.
There's somebody's face in this notebook.
You're welcome.
Fucking nuke some Geth, baby.
It's me.
In red pen.
It's me. I planted my face in it.
Good job on that bus.
Like
Thank you.
Oh, it's sort of like a little thumb five.
Yeah.
High thumb.
Accidentally hack an alien.
I don't know who drew
Robust.
that in this notebook.
Oh, not me. That's better than I can draw.
That's awesome.
It's just been there.
That face makes me think of like the E-fucked face.
So, alright, I'm gonna Here's the core rulebook.
Shoop.
Grab my beer.
Grab your beer.
I need to make some
it.
quick notes from today's session.
Yep.
And then we can... Thank you for your contribution, Rick.
You're welcome. You're staying on for some debriefing?
I think Ryan wanted to stay on for some debriefing.
Well, I would say,
Or-
like, if you want to do that now, I have to do it now. If you want to do it later in the week, so you have time to, like, if you feel like you need a bit of time to digest, then
Okay.
that's fine too.
I mean, you can just give me, like, initial stuff now of, like, things that I did well or, like, things that I should streamline in the future.
I took some notes.
Okay.
I hope that's okay.
Nice. Hang on.
Colin and I went to a choir concert, and at that choir concert, Colin took notes.
Yes, I did. It
So,
was so
Colin
bad.
appreciates that you took notes because it shows that there were things that you cared enough about to be notable, to be things to point out one way or the other. And Colin appreciates that kind of feedback.
Yeah, dude. Like, if someone went to one of my choir concerts and took notes and was like, hey, here's stuff that you guys did really well. Here's stuff that, like, I think you could have done better. Like, I'd be like, bro, awesome.
Well, it shows that, like, it shows a very attentive audience,
Yeah.
right? Like, to have that, like, that level
There's-
of complexity of thought about a
there's-
performance.
Yeah, there's going to a show, and then there's being so attentive that you literally took notes to a music concert.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, so,
Well, how do you feel about it, having run it? Where are you at right
I feel
now?
like for role playing, I think we'll be fine. Like just incidental stuff, but like combat,
Mhm.
I'm gonna need a lot of heavy lifting from Rick
Okay.
because I don't know how the Genesys combat works.
You can also do that heavy lifting, too, and do a learning. I leave the book up here for you.
All right.
I'm happy to teach also.
I mean,
Instead of
it's
just
not
do
like
for you.
yeah, because I would have to. I'm not really gonna like. I don't know how much I want to prep like opposition character sheets.
Just learning general
Right, yeah.
combat stuff. Okay, well, we can do that sometime.
Oops, I spelled that wrong.
Something I can do for you, Colin, to help you out, is I can compile some links to tracks from campaign,
Okay.
whether the Star Wars or the current, that show exemplary combats to give you an idea for how other people have had the flow of their combat going within Genesys, and you can pick and choose from there what you would like and not like, and we can also sit down and talk things through as well, because I'm going to be
Okay.
spending time
I feel like
listening
this
to these
this
combats.
yeah,
so
this
they're
definitely
great.
won't be like a next week that we resume this.
No.
It's
Yeah,
definitely gonna be like every other.
thing. But this is something I
And
can
that's
do
what
for
we're
you.
saying.
Yeah.
And we were saying, like, do it every other week. Like, I can run Trust to Gold, or we can do something else next week, and then
Yep.
that gives you 2 weeks to kind of gather yourself, reflect,
Yeah, and come up with
and then
whatever
put together
encounters.
more stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's something else I can do to help give you a broader idea of conflict in Genesys. Because I don't want to call it just combat, because we solved a lot of that by not doing combat.
Right.
We found other ways of resolving this conflict.
What was the Hanar's name? Little Stream?
Little trickle.
Little Trickle?
Little trickle. Yeah.
Rick, are you joining us for the debrief, or are you heading off?
I was gonna do some other stuff, but I can chill on for this. I don't have anything in particular to do. So,
I mean, well, if Colin, if
yeah.
you're comfortable with that, I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. not knowing that a debriefing was happening, I wasn't keeping specific thoughts in mind, but I mean...
Alright. I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Cool. I will handle the rest of the
Good night.
kitchen cleanup.
Quick hand stock.
Quick hands.
Actually, I'll start doing kitchen cleanup now, actually. Whatever.
Take your time with your notes. Let me know when you are ready to chat.
So, Ryan, you have heard a rumor of a possible assignment. It hasn't been explicitly stated to you from the Hanar government. You will need to do a little bit of digging and then contact your superior for further details. Rick and Harris are kind of just tagging along, but as far as their stuff goes, Harris can get some opportunities for tech improvements that he can pick up on his pilgrimage for the Quarian fleet, because that's the Quarian rite of passage. Is like once you reach a certain age, you're kind of sent off into the galaxy and you have to pick up
I remember that.
benefit for the migrant fleet to bring back. And then Rick, being an agent of the Shadow Broker, could pick up some really juicy intel, because Omega exists outside of the laws of the galaxy. Like, it's way off in the boonies.
Cool.
Oh no.
You drip water.
Yeah, I did. I dripped condensation onto my notebook. It was fine. It's okay. Ball.
I've been playing several different games online, and I need to organize all of my random notes and papers from my different games.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan, if you have notes, you can also send them to me. I'm not going to write them down also.
Would you like me to send them to you? Like,
Yeah,
they're just
like-
handwritten notes,
like-
but I can type them up for you if you find it
Yeah, if
helpful.
you could be so wonderful as to also type them up and send them, like, even just like if they're in a simple text document, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, that will take very little time. Like the notes are not that long.
To transcribe them.
Yeah, I'll do it after this. Like, it won't take long at all.
Yeah, cool, dude. And just place them in the Genesys Mass Effect chat.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. All right, hit me.
So, one thing that I thought you did really, really well, really good communication. Like, the first thing you did when we decided to actually like start the game proper after we'd done our warm-ups, you said to me, like, are you okay with not being involved in the scene right away? And it's a small thing, but by checking in with me, it shows that you're open to communication, and it lets me as a player know that I can advocate for myself, and it's not stepping on toes. Like, I don't have to worry, like, oh, is Colin going to get upset? Is Colin going to be, like, angry?
No, dude.
I can just, because that made me have to be like, actually, Colin was really hoping to, like, jump in with everybody, or I thought it'd be really cool if we all start together.
Yeah, and I'm open to that.
And I was fine not being being in it right away, but by opening with that, you are demonstrating you demonstrate right off the bat that you're open to communication, and I think that goes a long way for any GM.
Cool.
Like, because other stuff like mechanical stuff, it's like you learn the system, you get familiar with quirks of it. That will just come with time, but that smooth communication will make every game better, and every table you sit at, either as a player or a GM, is going to make your experience better. So that you did really well with that, because you also did that. You were he asked like, "Are you okay with jumping into some combat?" Again, you were checking with the table, seeing like what our feeling was, like what we were feeling. Again, that showed really good communication. With that one, I mean, also feel empowered to do things like, yeah, we're gonna have a combat here, and just kind of go for it. Especially because we've done some nice role play, and so it was a good moment to like up the intensity with some combat or with a conflict.
Right. I wanted to do not a lot of combat, but I wanted to do a little bit, like just to kind of establish and get the feel of it.
Yeah. And so I don't think you need to be worried about that in that moment.
Right.
But by asking, you're still demonstrating that open communication, which is super important for a really healthy table environment. Cool. But I would just say like the flip side of that is like we have said yes, we will be players with you as our GM. So we are putting a bit of like we are handing over the reins to you a little bit and be like, we trust you to give it like to set up the pieces for a cool session.
Okay.
So also feel empowered to be like, yes, you are playing director in a very major way. And go with that. So if you're like, oh yeah, we haven't had a high intensity conflict recently, it might be time for something like that to come in. Or if we've had a huge, like the pacing here was good. Like we started with some nice role play, and we got amped up with the explosions and seeing stuff going on, and we had the combat, and then we brought it back down with a bit of role play and like a denouement as we rolled into the present day. So like that kind of like, if you think of the intensity, and intensity can also come from like in our Dungeon World game, when you were talking with the god, while we weren't rolling a ton of dice and it wasn't a big fight, I would describe it as high intensity.
Yeah, because I had this huge moral quandary with a literal god.
Yeah, so like that was still high intensity.
Yep.
Fun for a climax, but if it was that, and then a fight, and then a chase, and then another attack with the god, like it would be exhausting.
I was literally about to say that would be exhausting, but you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. So I thought cool. Like the sense of pacing of like we have like the downbeats and the upbeats.
Yep.
Came at a really nice pace in this session.
Okay.
Just as a little tip, a couple things that I like to do. If I have my computer nearby, I keep a name generator open at all times when I'm running a game.
Okay.
And then if someone's like,
I'll
NPC,
also have my phone, so like I can.
Same deal. Or like what I've done when I haven't had technology with me is I've written down 10 names on a cue card.
Okay.
And then like if someone's like, oh, what's the lieutenant's name? It's like, it is this. And I cross that name off, and then that name is like, I'm not going to use it anymore. It's just going to be that character.
Yeah.
And it's just a little thing that can help the game feel smooth.
Okay.
It can also give the game that sense of
all right, so
I use the term verisimilitude. Because it's not quite realism, right? It's not
right.
It's exactly real.
It's as opposed to suspension of disbelief. It's like I need a certain amount of believability, and not just me taking a glance at my bookshelf full of movies and like mishmashing a couple movie names together to come up with someone's bullshit name. So
which I mean, playing Honey Heist,
great,
is a great way to do it. Like if you're playing a goofy game, doesn't matter the system. If you're playing a goofy game, that's tons of fun. But if you're playing something where you want to capture a little bit like a more serious tone, having a list of names can be super helpful because it gives a sense of like, oh, everybody in this world has a name, even if you don't care about them. They all have a name. So at the beginning of the game, after we had when the Citadel was first being attacked.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll let you finish writing.
I'm just putting a note down about using a name generator.
Yeah, so the beginning of the game, we had the Citadel being attacked, and I could tell you're trying to ramp up the tension. You say like, "Oh, the Citadel's closing," and we know that's weird, and then we hear some rumbling. That's not good, and then we see an explosion. So, nice sense of like ramping tension. Like we know something big is happening.
Yeah.
But I kind of got the sense that Rick and Harris were still kind of like, well, what do we do with this information?
Okay.
And the moment he said, oh, the emergency alert comes on and says, everybody report to your nearest CSEC administrative
precinct.
center.
Yeah. Like your nearest precinct office. Because it's this Citadel security is essentially the police force on the Citadel space station. Yeah.
So the moment you said that, that gave a clear sense of like, here is something to do.
Okay.
And this is something that I struggle with as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, you found a way out of it really quickly, quite naturally. You're like, oh, you need to report here. Boom. Now we have a sense of like, I should go over and do this.
Okay.
Have you played Skyrim?
I've played Skyrim multiple times, yes.
So, imagine if at the beginning of the game,
when you're
after you escape that first town,
from
and
Helgen?
You're not sorry?
From Helgen, so right after the dragon attack.
Right after the dragon attack, let's say that we didn't have the two factions that you could follow.
Oh, so like no Stormcloaks, no Imperials. You're just there.
So imagine like you have the same intro, and then you get out of the town. You get out of Helgen. You have no like. You would sit there and be like,
"What the fuck do I do?" Yeah.
And by having the Imperium or the Stormcloaks, they both point you to not Whiterun.
It was Riverside or what? River.
Yes.
Riverrun. Riverrun.
But they both point you to Riverrun, so you know, oh, I need to find this town.
Yep.
And then like waypoints on the map give you like, oh, that might be interesting to go and check out. Right?
Yeah,
but,
like on your way to Riverrun, there's the Three Stones, and then up on the hill. Up on the hill is that first dungeon that you can go to. You can either go there yourself or go to Riverrun, and they'll give you a quest to go to that dungeon.
Yeah, but by pointing us to Riverrun, it gives us a direction to walk.
Yep.
Like pointing us by saying like, "Oh, my brother's in Riverrun." It's like, okay, that's something to do, and we can talk about like we can make pit stops along the way or not.
Yep.
Or we can actively not do that because it's a sandbox game and that's part of that experience.
Right.
But that verb there, like go meet this guy in this town.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that gives us something to do. And so that's what you did there by saying, report to the precinct. That's something for us to do. Without that, it's like, it's a bit up in the air. And that's why Rick was like, oh, well, I'm going to run to my ship. But it's like, oh, I guess that wouldn't work. And I've like, this has happened to me a million times. It's like, oh, go investigate, like, the whereabouts of this person, and then you get to a town and they're like, I guess we go to the tavern because that's where you get rumors.
Right. And
it's like this kind of like, and I can see the players like looking for something to grasp onto, but it's not there.
It's too vague, so like they're like, bro, give me something.
But it's like, oh, if I said, you want try to find your brother You know he was staying at this inn,
Oh, okay.
and and you know that he was working for this company who has an office over here.
Right.
Now I'm saying like here's something specific to do.
Okay.
So you got there, like you got there, and you got there a lot faster than I do sometimes.
Okay.
So that's just something to kind of think about when it comes to planning. Like, what are you hoping the players to do, and what are you doing to let them know that those sorts of things are available?
Okay. All right.
That all makes sense?
Yep. As an anecdote, totally
Yeah.
unrelated, on my Audacity recording program says disk space remaining for recording 33 hours and 55 minutes. So if we really wanted, we could do like just a stupidly long game
This
and have
crazy
room for
marathon.
all of it.
I would be impressed if we get to 33 hours.
That would be a marathon and a half, man. That would be exhausting. Like, if we could pull that off somehow and, like, keep that flow and brain going for
Oh my God.
33 hours, I think I would sleep for 33 hours straight
yeah.
afterwards, dude.
Yes.
That would be absurd. Anyway.
Yeah, so just like the next bit, you gave us nice verbs. We need to get the Hanar, Little Trickle, or
Yeah, Little Trickle.
to the safe house.
Right, because he's a
And
diplomat.
actually, the setup to this was pretty solid. You gave us a clear thing to do. We need to get this diplomat or this ambassador to a safe house. I don't like whenever I'm starting a brand new game, I always worry about like, oh, what if the players don't take the hook?
Yeah.
And then I always have to tell myself like, if they don't take the hook, they're not really playing in good faith because like that's part of the social contract of the game for just starting the game, right?
Yeah.
Like after that we can
Rick
talk
and
about
Harris
what we do
both
and
could have
don't
just
do.
like not said that they had either biotic or tech powers and just like kind of looked at each other and been like, don't. Like that
Yeah.
kind of like guilty look at one another, and you're just like, don't make yourself. And then that would have forced you to like they would have stayed in that fucking CSEC office, and that would have forced you to escort this guy, or I would have spitballed another different.
Yeah. And
thing
if they
to
had
happen.
just rejected it, like it would not have been playing in good faith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you set up this nice like, here's the thing to do, and we intuitively know the kinds of things we can do to do it. And you put a nice obstacle away. You gave us, you can think of it as like locks and keys.
Okay.
You put a lock in the way. The geth.
Yep.
In more railroady games, and you see this a lot in video games, which is different because it's a different medium.
Yep.
It'll be like, if this was Mass Effect, a video game, it would be kill all the geth.
Right. You walk into this area
Right.
and there's very clearly like, I wonder why there's all these like half height, waist height blocks on the ground arranged geometrically. Probably going to be a combat scenario, and I will be using cover. Duh.
And so it's like, and in Mass Effect, it is like, it's a shooter. Like, that is a cover-based shooter game. That's what it is, fundamentally.
Mm-hmm.
So, in almost every situation like that, our key is our weapons and our fighting ability.
Yep.
You set it up really nicely because you said, there are geth in the way. What do you do? That's like the magic question in tabletop games, right? What do you do? We had the option of stealth, and Rick did a bit of reconnaissance. And I was like, I'm happy to just like jump in and just cut them down. But then we had like we'll stealth the ambassador through.
That was right, like great idea.
Super clever plan. And so for me, it's a lot of fun because it's like, oh, we get to like we take the truths that we know about the universe and our circumstances and use that to come up with some cool way of getting through the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we inevitably do what our characters are good at because we made these characters to do the things that we want to do in the game world.
Right.
If you're playing Skyrim, you don't invest in swords if you want to play an archer.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like, you invest in swords because you want to be, like, you want to go dual wielding swords.
Yeah, you want to do either one-handed or two-handed combat.
Yeah.
Not archery. Or stealth, maybe. I don't know.
Right? But, like, where you invest your points is indicating how you want to interact with the game world in any game.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And so, by having these kind of open-ended challenges, like, get past the gaff, it lets us, like, we will inevitably do the things that we think are most exciting for us because we made our characters to be able to do those things.
Yep.
I want a character that can teleport in, cut some guys down, and zip out again. Of course, that's going to be the plan I come up with. And sometimes it's fun to subvert that, right? Like, sometimes it is fun, like in D&D, it's like, oh yeah, there's an anti-magic field here. Sometimes, done at a nice enough rate, it's like, oh, I have to think about different ways. But if you do that every time, all of your spellcasters would be like, we don't get to do anything.
Yeah, this is boring. Oh, why are you nerfing me?
But likewise, if you, after every encounter, if you're like, oh, your weapons were stolen again, your melee fighters, would be like, well, the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Sometimes it's fun to take away those tools, but that should be the exception, right? To kind of spice things up. So this setup was great. Like, we got to choose how we wanted to approach this problem, and then we executed the plan. And we did it doing things that we found really exciting.
Yep.
And so, if you had thought of it as kill the Geth, and then started coaxing us down that path, I would have felt a bit restricted.
Yeah, that would have been railroady.
Yeah, but by leaving it open to what do you want to do, how do you want to tackle, get past the Geth. It's a really nice way of framing it. It kept us, like, gave us a lot of agency, and that was really good.
Okay. Ooh, I'm starting to get tired myself.
Yeah, that was the most of it. The big thing, and you pointed it out as well, just knowing some of the rules a little bit more. I think if you learn, you would find it much easier to run the game if you had a good sense of
how Genesys is played.
How Genesys plays. For example, I don't think you gave the Geth a turn in combat.
No, I didn't give them a turn in combat against you guys. They were fighting each other, and I kind of just hand-waved over that.
Yeah, and we had done some stuff to make that happen, but it also meant that, like, I didn't feel any threat in terms of numbers.
Okay.
And so it was a fun power moment. Like, oh, that made me feel really powerful. But also something to consider, if you know the system better, you'll be able to do that with more intentionality.
Okay.
You'll be able to, like, set up the scene of, like, this is a combat where I want the players to feel really powerful, versus this is a combat where I want them to see the limitations of their abilities.
Okay. So that might be something I have to do in the future then, is, like, introduce a combat scenario or some sort of encounter, whatever, that you guys will feel, oh, I'm not crazy powerful in this regard. I'm going to have limitations.
Yeah. And you can, like, the combat or the conflicts can be tailored to either really make us feel powerful or to make us see the limitations of our abilities. Okay. And both are really important because they add color and flavor and make the world feel dynamic and interesting. But to do that effectively, you are just going to need to start learning the system a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And that's something that can come with time, and it's fine if you don't have it mastered before the next session. But I think you would find it a lot less intimidating if you had like a basic understanding of how combat worked, for example.
Okay.
And a basic understanding of how skill checks work. So you can just be like, yeah, 2 purple, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And that as you do that, you'll become more comfortable with it, and it will become second nature, and you won't even have to think about it.
Yeah, because I'm trusting you guys to be honest with your dice rolls and your abilities, because I don't. I've really haven't played a ton of Genesis.
When I run D&D, I straight up say, look, I'm not going to learn how to play every class.
Yeah.
So I'm going to trust you to be honest about how many spell slots you have left, or what the rules are about your range.
Yep.
I'll trust the players to be honest, because if I'm not playing with people I can trust, I shouldn't be playing with them at all.
Yeah, which is, I mean, and that also helps, like, if you're playing on Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, where it keeps track of all that for you.
But I think you would probably feel a lot more comfortable if you knew
more of the rules of how Genesis does.
If you had once you get those fundamentals down, the more intricate stuff can come later. But just getting those fundamentals, I think, will really help you. And I had a note here, and you yourself pointed out in the session. I thought, oh, you're getting really caught up in how the video game works.
Yep. I did catch myself there on that. I'm like, I don't know how this is how it works in the game. I don't know how it's going to work in our game.
Yeah, I made a note of that. You noted it as well, so like...
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that's important is, like, for example, I don't know the games super well. Like, I played 1 and 2, but I played them pretty casually.
It's probably a long time ago, right?
Actually, I played Mass Effect less than a year ago. No, Mass Effect 2 less than a year ago. But I didn't, like... But I played it on normal, and I had a very casual run. Like, I didn't look stuff up on, like, how to make the most... the most effective character. I just kind of like went through and just like, oh yeah, it's just like a fun casual experience.
Yeah.
So I'm largely going on what I can find in the Genesis book or in the Singularity book.
Okay.
And there were times where you were using that, but there were times where you're using your knowledge of the video game, and it didn't link up with the rules that were written in the rule books.
Okay.
And so there was this disconnect, and that I found a little bit tricky, because I'm like, I don't know what options are available to me.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, it leaves me thinking, like...
You're kind of in a limbo of, well, what do I do?
It's like, you know, in a video game, you will walk off a ledge just to see if there's fall damage.
Yeah.
It's like that, but I got an inconclusive result.
Okay. Yeah, you're like, oh, well, I fell off the ledge, but now I'm, like, stuck down here. Clipping, just like clipping down in the bottom of this pit, but I'm like not dead, and it's not loading me back. And it's like, uh-oh. That's like, that's something that would happen in like QA of a game, in alpha, hey, dev person, can you come here? I fell down and it's not killing me, or it's...
Yeah, so just like having some consistency there, and even if it's like you are house ruling something, but if you could just say, like, this is the rule that we're playing by, even though it's not in any of the books, as long as it's consistent, it gives me a framework to work in, and that informs my decision making. It lets me say, like, oh, this is how I'm going to approach the situation, because I know this is what my biodex powers do, and I know what they don't do.
Okay.
So I think it's perfectly legit just to be like, we're just going off what's in the Singularity book and just leave it at that.
Yep.
Like, it's the least amount of work on everybody's part. It's like, it's right there.
Yep.
But if you want to house rule things because you think it creates better immersion, as long as we're consistent and open about that, it'll work just fine.
Okay.
So I think the big thing is just like getting some of those fundamentals down in terms of rules. And from there, as you get more comfortable with the system, you can do more intricate things.
Okay.
To like draw an example, in D&D 5e, I was running a campaign, And my first few combats were pretty straightforward. Like,
Okay.
here's a bit of terrain, here's what's going on. But then as I got a sense like, oh, well, if I can, now that I'm more comfortable with the general combat system, I'm going to do things like, oh, um, there are runes on the ground, and after every round of initiative, they count down, and when they hit 0, they explode, and anything that's in a 3x3 space is going to get hit for damage.
Ooh. Okay.
And it was cool because they had different timings, so it was like they had 1, 2, or 3 countdowns, so I'd put more runes on, and I'd make them explode, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I've lost you again.
Me? Uh-oh.
I'm back.
Well, at least you gave warning that time. It was like, well, I've lost you again. And I'm like, me? And then you just disconnect. And I'm like, oh, yep.
Yeah.
Telltale.
Yeah. So, so like the runes started exploding, and the players all said, oh, it made a really dynamic encounter because they suddenly had to like pay careful attention to like where they were walking.
Right.
They're playing on a battle mat, so like that's something that doesn't work in Genesys as well.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's just I couldn't get there until I had the fundamentals of combat down.
Okay.
So.
Looks like I got homework then.
But it's fun homework.
Yeah.
And like I said, you don't need to have the rules absolutely memorized.
Right.
And what I would do when I was first learning 5e, if I had an encounter coming, I would write down the stat block of like 1 or 2 enemies that they would encounter.
Okay.
I would just screenshot the monster manual.
Okay.
And like keep that in my files. And then I pulled that up when combat was happening. But at the end, if there was like a surprise encounter that popped up, I'd be like, at this level, this is a not super hard thing. All the things, like these guys will have a +4 to attack. They'll have an AC of 15.
Excuse me.
And then
Gotcha.
I could kind of bullshit it. And like if someone's like, oh, I use this spell on them, they need to make an int save. It's like, okay, well these things are like, they probably have a
So I'll need
+0.
to find like some example Mook character sheets.
I think
in Genesys, and just kind of go off of that.
The Genesys book should have stuff. If not, go online. People will share that kind of stuff all over the place.
Good thing that's empty. It should. I'll just leave this out here and I'll check it.
Yeah, cruise through it.
Because I'm starting to get sleepy myself and I gotta pee, so.
But yeah, that was the last thing.
Alright.
Just a better, as you learn the system better, it'll go better. But like a lot of the RP stuff, like I said, really good. Pacing was good. Nice communication.
Cool. Alright.
Well, thank you for running. I had a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad you guys all enjoyed this. I didn't think that it was going to be unenjoyable, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it nonetheless. So I had fun.
And you're like it'll only become more and more comfortable for you.
Right. I know what I need to work on now with regards to game.
And
I'm a lot more confident in doing the like just incidental kind of drama role playing. Like that should be
you kept stuff rolling really well. Like I didn't feel like there was any kind of moment of like, okay, what's going on here? It's like
as far as like story, but I think what I'm really gonna need to work on is like combat encounters and how to counter you guys, right? Like running, like because I've never GM'd anything before, and so like I've always been a player character, and like I know how to be a player character really well, but I don't know how to like counter or set up.
It's a different hat. And you will get used to it, and you will have times where you just absolutely nail it, and you have times where you miss the mark, and that's fine too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
All right, buddy. Quick hands.
See you, Ryan. Take it easy, bud.
See you later.